It's been an absolutely nutty, action-packed week full of Sulfur content and goodies, mostly due to a new patch that came out that actually brought back the demo, which is great news because that allows you to share the demo with your friends, get them to try the game, get more people to experience the demo. Welcome back to another Sulfur, not report, because I asked you guys for a new name and you guys came up with a banger. It was the the Sunday Sulfur Summary. I think we'll shorten it to the Sulfur Summary, but we all know it's actually the Su. So thank you so much for coming up with that idea. I greatly appreciate it. It was all you. I mean, just right there, boom, that's all you. Thank you so much, because the Sulfur Report was was very much a placeholder, but I really like the Sulfur Summary. It flows together really nice. It's like a fine wine, which is what we're looking for, because like I said, this patch was kind of nuts in a weird way, and it might have been some bleed over from the last patch, but if you've played a run recently, things continue to change every time you get a patch, for good, for bad. All I'm saying is, if I was any other YouTuber, this video would have been titled the Sulfur Update patch. No, the Sulfur patch situation is crazy. Is that what they do? Yeah, you got to put the situation is crazy. I don't know, I'm trying to copy and paste Mr. Beastify Moist Critical this thing. As with any patch you get in an early access title, lots of things, like I said, change for better, for worse. More bugs come into play, more things leave, more things get added. Like the chickens dropping stuff. I didn't mention that last week, or did I? I think I did mention it last week, but I didn't mention it in the town guide, which I finally, and I promise you, I can promise it won't be this long of a wait before the sewers one. I'm going to start working on that very, very soon. I don't want to wait this long again for another Ultimate Guide, but the Town Ultimate Guide is officially released. I put a lot of hard work into that. It might not seem like it, but when I do those, it ends up being like 600 to 700 clips that I have to go through, cut down, figure out what goes where to try to make everything make sense, because if you can't tell, I'm a bit of a rambler, and sometimes even I don't know what the heck I was talking about. But not only is the demo back, which is great news, and I plan to play through the demo, because I actually never played the demo when it originally came out. I didn't know about Sulfur until the devs reached out to me on a website called Lurkit, and then gave me a key for the game for me to try it, and I tried it about a week early. I think there was like an embargo or something, and then a couple of the days before the game came out, I put up the video. I was like, wow, this game is really good. It's going to sweep Steam. Everybody's going to love it. That's slowly happening. And this demo is going to help it to happen more. And that's why I want to play through the demo and see the key differences and similarities between it and the main game, and see exactly what's in there, to see what demo enjoyers should expect if they get the full game. And I'll be doing that sometime this week. So it'll probably just be a playthrough of the demo. I imagine the demo is about an hour long, if that. Probably just caves. Maybe not even the cousin boss fight. I legitimately don't know. I have no information on the demo. Never played it. Never seen it. I'm a terrible, terrible person. In my defense, they took it out as soon as the game launched. Probably to help boost sales, but I think the demo could have done that as well, or they just wanted to tinker around with it. Nobody really knows what Perfect Random's plan was for that. Ultimately, it's great news that the demo is back, and this will be the last time I say this for this week. Share this demo with your friends. A lot of people see the game, they're like, the art style is awesome, it looks wacky and zany, that gun you're using, why does it have 800% recoil? Because you could do whatever you want in this game, and let them get their hands on it, and I think they'll learn to really enjoy it, because there is something special in Sulfur. That's why we need a damn news report once a week, because there's so much to talk about, because we're all obsessed with it and love it. The patch didn't just add the demo. Like I said, there could be some bleed over from last week, and I think a lot of the bleed over is from last week, but it also added some strange bugs in some cool places. There's a brand new level skip for St. Lucia, which can just take you completely out of the St. Lucia fight once it starts. You can jump up to one of the balconies and just walk through the wall and then jump down to the exit, and that's it, you're done. I found that on accident. I'm not sure if I'm the first person who found it, but when we were streaming trying to find information on the crypt key, I'll get into that, don't worry. Of course, you knew I was going to get into that, but when we were looking for information on the crypt key, I accidentally came across it because I was checking every door trying to open them, and then I accidentally leaped out of the wall. So I made sure to go check again on my own to see if it was working, and yes, it's 100% reproducible. It's a crazy bug. You don't have to fight St. Lucia at all. It would be kind of weird to go to Castle and not fight St. Lucia because you get that juicy loot. I'm not too sure why you do this other than speed running. If you're speed running or you don't feel safe in the St. Lucia fight and you happen to have a dunce cap on you, this might be a good play for you just to get out of there. Maybe you didn't charge your amulet in dungeon or something. I don't know. It's just a really weird bug, and it'll for sure be fixed, but I don't know if they know it's there yet. Another crazy thing that happened is Cousin is officially one-tappable again. I couldn't believe it when I was reading the comments saying, hey, I was able to one-tap Cousin with a Frostbite gun, but they did just rework Frostbite. I think the last patch, not the demo one, but the one prior to it, they reworked it to make it like more special effects or something. They wanted the freezing to look better, and that actually made it so shotguns with the Frostbite scroll can one-tap Cousin. I thought it was just the Breacher, but I made an Arbiter that could do it as well, and it works every time. So he's now one-tappable again without that crazy RNG hoping and crossing your fingers that it'll work. I should have checked with a 12-gauge chisel, but now you've got homework. Go ahead and someone out there should check with a 12-gauge chisel, Frostbite gun, maybe like a Fisk or a Corpse Maker, and just see if you could kill him with one tap, because I didn't get a chance to check that. I haven't had a whole lot of time today. In fact, I'm running on short time right now. The SULFUR Summary, we said it was going to happen. I said I was going to record it every Sunday morning after gathering news all week. I did gather news all week, and we have plenty more to talk about, but I'm actually recording it Saturday afternoon because I thought it's going to be too tight of a window to try to get it out on Sunday after recording it on Sunday. It was my nerves were racking just thinking about it, if that's at all makes sense. So I decided to just record a Saturday. So if anything happens tonight, Saturday night, into Sunday morning and Sunday night, my bad. You'll have to wait till the 3rd edition of SULFUR Summary. I hope I haven't been saying the SULFUR Report. I hate that name. I've always hated it. For this whole past week, I've hated that name. You know? So, but I love SULFUR Summary. It's awesome. It works. The Susu sounds great. While we did gain some cool, funny glitches that make the game a little bit easier, we did lose a soldier. When I was making the town guide, I noticed things had changed, so I played again. I did another playthrough on my own a few days ago, right before I streamed last, when we were looking for the crypt key. And yes, once again, I'm leaving you on the hook. We're going to get to that. But I played, and the bunk bed hitbox glitch is no longer a thing, which is unfortunate because I had a good 1 or 2 minutes in the town guide talking about it. I decided to just cut it out entirely, so I didn't have too many pause breaks about what the update was changing and taking away from me, just because I've been a naughty boy once in a while. Just once in a while, you know? Generally, I'm a pretty good Sulfy. I'm a pretty good Sulfy boy. That was an awesome bug, and the hitboxes on the bunk beds essentially were way too big, and you could see through them. The enemies could see you, but neither of you could shoot each other, so you could use that as cover to just look right through, and it was great, and I used it all the time, but now it's no longer a viable option because they went and did their job. Damn you, Perfect Random, for doing a good job getting rid of bugs. How dare you? That's me spitting, but I didn't actually spit because that would be gross. I've kept you on the hook quite a bit, and that's wrong of me because the crypt key search came up empty. It's unfortunate, but I had been saying throughout the entire stream that I think the crypt key more or less is probably just an Easter egg for an upcoming area and something you can gather now for when we get Deep Woods. It could be an indicator that Deep Woods is coming soon, or another smaller area addition somewhere, maybe, that the crypt key will be useful for. But right now, I couldn't find anything. And we had a bunch of people in chat. We were all working together to try to find something that the crypt key could do. We checked the back of church. We checked everywhere around church. We checked the cutscene hatches. We checked every door we could find. Maybe not every door in town. So if you want to go through every door in town. I was personally sick of town. All right, I had been spending so much time in town. I'm about to be doing that in sewers. Imagine I find the crypt in sewers. Hey, maybe. I'm about to be spending the next 20 to 30 hours of my life in content creation in sewers, going insane because I already don't love sewers. So it's gonna be a rough one. But I'm gonna try to put on a happy face, chomp down some. I was gonna say Xanax. I don't even take Xanax anymore. All right, my anxiety is much better than it used to be. Not that there's any problem taking prescription drugs that help you with your mental issues, okay? All right? That's totally fine, but I don't do that anymore. I used to. And my psychiatrist is all like, "Are you sure you're okay?" The guy tried to tell me I had depression when I first met him, and I was like, "No one's ever told me that in my life. Why are you telling me that?" And then he put me, I'm not I'm not going to get into this because it was a whole crazy experience. And if you've ever had to cycle through psychiatrists, you know how crazy that can be and annoying it is. I don't even like my psychiatrist, all right? I hate him. I want to get a new one, but I keep forgetting. I'm like, literally the only times I remember is when I'm doing something like this. And it's like, bruh, you should get on the phone and find somebody new. I don't know. And in some of the gameplay you're seeing here, I was using a Crusader Ploika because someone mentioned a Crusader Ploika could be the play, and it was pretty fun. I didn't notice too much of an impact from it because, well, the Ploika is not the strongest gun ever, and yes, Crusader is adding the damage multipliers, but every time I chiseled it with something different, I mean, the recoil just went through the roof. It was pretty fun, but still, the Crusader scroll is kind of underwhelming in my opinion. I actually think it might be changed eventually to make it more powerful, because just adding 3 damage every time isn't that crazy and doesn't make it feel too impactful when you're using it, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty fun. I like the Ploika in general, though. A cool thing I noticed is some bigger YouTubers have been covering Sulfur. Finally, I don't know what's going on with these numbskulls. It's almost an anomaly that so many bigger YouTubers have not, they don't know what Sulfur is. One of them, Vinny Vinesauce, I don't watch him. I don't know too much about him. At first I thought it was Vsauce. I know who Vsauce is. I don't know too much about him either. I think he just does like IRL experiments and YouTube shorts or something. Vsauce is weird. I think he's been around for like 100 years too, so he's always been doing stuff. And I was like, Vsauce? No, apparently Vinesauce is somebody else. Maybe? I actually don't know. But he played it, and if I recall during the beginning of his video, because I watched a good portion of it, he said, I don't know what Sulfur is, but it was in my library. And it's like, dude, it's so good.
Chat, it's a game called Sulfur, and it was recommended by a couple of my mods, actually. And I was like, oh, I should buy that. I already had it. I don't know why. It's just, like, again, I think it was sent to me, and it was just in my inventory or something.
So many of these big YouTubers are just sleeping on one of the best indie games that's come out in a long time, and they all seem to kick their own ass when they eventually do get to play it. Sorry, I have a disease. It's been a rough day. It's been a wild day, and I was like, of all the days for it to be wild, it had to be a busy Sulfur day. A Sulfur Saturday leading into a Sunday has to be this insane. I guess that's just my luck. Back to my point. I don't know why none of them are bothering to give it a fair shake. It would be good for them because they'd enjoy themselves. It'd be good for their community. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid it's too hard. So all you big YouTubers out there, put on your big boy pants, accept the Sulfur Challenge. That's what you should call it. Hashtag Sulfur Challenge. You can do it and show this amazing game off to your friends and community. Your friends, that's parasocial, isn't it? Show it off to your community, your fans. Let them experience the thing that we've all grown so attached to. And, I don't know. Perfect Random, they earned it. They deserve it. Sulfur and Witchfire, we had this conversation on stream. Sulfur and Witchfire have hit the extraction shooter, roguelite combination, and it's such a beautiful pairing that, me personally, I think we're going to see a lot more games come out with that pairing. The roguelite extraction shooter, so much to the point where it might need a new name, because they both flow together so perfectly to create this cohesive, incredibly challenging, but incredibly rewarding and fun experience that I would be shocked if we didn't see more developers try to take the idea and run with it, and that's a good thing, because Sulfur and Witchfire are two of the best games I've ever played. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to go Sulfur 100%. Witchfire I'm very much enjoying. I have to beat it before I can make that claim, to be honest, but Sulfur is one of the best games I've ever played, and we're only in early access. We have so much more to go. We've only hit one tick on the early access roadmap. That's right, only fixing shit. We still got to get to Deep Woods before we hit that second level, which could be within the next, it's got to be within the next couple of months. It has to be, or else I don't know what's going on, because they're working fast to push out these updates. If they're not thinking about how much people are starting to think, like, where's Deep Woods, then they're truly blind to the situation that they've created. And the Perfect Random blindness situation is crazy. It's a video you'll see in 2 months if we don't see any update on Deep Woods, but I think we will. And there was a weird thing about the demo patch, because in the patch prior, they said that, well, no, not the patch prior, but the Steam update prior to the patch before the demo one, and for some reason I can't remember what the hell the basis of that patch was, What the heck was that patch? It's the one that started dropping the crypt key. The one that reworked everything, changed the loopholes and everything. They mentioned more updates to come, and they mentioned Lunar New Year and that they were celebrating. I was expecting a Lunar New Year update patch similar to the Happy Holidays update, but we never got it, which seems really strange and kind of a letdown. I'll be honest, I was let down because that's the vibe I got when you made a post celebrating and congratulating everybody on the Lunar New Year, and then you mentioned updates in it. When we just had a holiday update, I got really excited. Was anyone else like that? And then it just didn't happen. And it's like, why? Why make the post and everything? Or why mention the updates in that post? It was very strange. I could be my words here in the next couple of days. We get some very delayed Lunar New Year update, which would be strange at this. I think it's too late at this point to be very, very obscure. I wouldn't say no to more content because the Happy Holidays update was great. We got a new gun, new clothes, new food. All of that was very welcome. But with all these new people coming in and all these bigger YouTubers, the two of them, I mean, neither of them are huge. I don't really know either of them. If it was someone I knew, it'd have to be like Brutal Moose or Drew Gooden or even Moist Critical. I like Moist Critical sometimes in certain doses because I don't know. I get these like month-long, 2-month-long binges where all I want to watch is Moist Critical, but then I need a break. I think it's because a lot of his videos are very, very similar. There's not a lot of diversity there, but I still really like and respect Moist Critical more than most big YouTubers. That's the one I would be like, what? I'm watching the whole thing. I'm writing notes. I'm breaking it down. I'd be very excited. I think he's an incredibly likable, charismatic, cool guy. There's the parasocial right there. Me and Moist, we're best buds, okay? That's what I'm getting at. With all these people coming in, I've been noticing more and more that people are shouting to the rooftops, hey, when you're done with the game and you're looking for something to do, update the wiki. And you know what? I probably should update the wiki at some point because I know I have a lot of Sulfur knowledge and I spent a lot of time and commitment to this game. And yeah, I haven't touched the wiki, and that's on me. I really should. I apologize greatly. And at some point, maybe I will. Maybe we could do a stream. That would be kind of fun if we did a stream where we like updated the wiki together and we thought of all the things we could put in there. And that way we could double check each other and make sure we're not putting any false information into the wiki because they're right. The wiki is really lacking. I've been on there a couple times for some weird things that I couldn't think of in the moment. I didn't want to launch the game. And then surprise, surprise, the wiki had nothing on them. I was even looking for specific terminology to use in other videos, couldn't find things. I can't remember any specific examples, but just go on there and you'll see that it needs a lot of work done so you can help out there. Wikis and stuff like that are all community driven. Don't be afraid to jump in and lend your hand to something to make the Sulfy community, the Sulfur community, a little brighter. Help the Sulfies out, because you're one of them. There's another thing I want from you guys. I was curious what you're looking for to be added to Sulfur, because right now that's what it feels like what's happening. We're getting it was the workshop update. It was the update to take weapon attachments on and off. That's what it, well, off. That's what it was. That's what the whole update was for, was the workshop. That's why I prompted this question to see what you guys wanted added. Because what I want added is a little weird, and I don't think I've seen anybody talk about it, but it's something that I really think would be easy, not only easy to implement, but also would have worked really well with the workshop update, and that's being able to name your guns. Because I make all these guns all the time, and sometimes one gun shares the same base as another gun, so I'll have 3 corpse makers that do 3 different things. I would love to be able to name them. When I make a gun on stream or something, and somebody says, hey, with that gun, I'd be like, oh, this gun, that Fact Finder, and then Fact Finder is this, that. I came up with a fun little nickname for it. And there's also like the poop gun. I want to call it the poop gun, but I can't. So I think it would be a really simple thing to implement, but also a nice quality of life thing. So that's what I would like to see added to Sulfur. That's a bit obscure. You don't have to give me something obscure, but obscure is probably more welcome here, because there's some things that, yeah, we all want added. Like if you were to say fishing minigame or a cooking minigame. Well, I guess we have a cooking minigame. I was trying to get at like a cozy game vibe. That's another weird thing I want. I would love to see Sulfur take on cozy games. I was trying to be sarcastic there, and then I just diarrheaed out of my mouth. But what do you want to see added to Sulfur? Diarrhea? To go with the poop gun, maybe? I know I've been playing a lot of Sulfur and Witchfire. Those are my 2 main games. Those are my choices right now. But I said I was going to play Techno Banter, and I knew it was launching just a few days ago, and I totally forgot to play it. I will play it soon. I was going to play it today, but I'm probably not going to have time now. Hopefully, I get a chance at it tomorrow if I'm not spending most of my day editing the SULFUR Summary. I shouldn't have to. It's not too much editing. I like to do a full-fledged, free-form jazz of rant for you like this, just words, so it's not too hard to edit. And I like doing that anyways. It lets me talk freely the way I would normally talk as if I was having a conversation with you. It's a little bit easier to edit, and it's also easier to do. And easy to consume, too, you know. I'm still thinking about you. I will play Techno Banter at some point. I was greatly looking forward to the full release of that, and it's getting a really warm reception, so I can freely say, I told you so. I told everybody that game was going to be one of the best games in the last decade. It's super good. So check out Techno Banter. Go watch I think I got like 3 or 4 hours on it already on my other channel. Go check it out. It's amazing. There was a Reddit post about Sulfur, and I saw a bunch of outsider information, people looking into Sulfur from the outside, and that was really interesting to me. So what I wanted to do at the end of this video is I'm going to look through all the comments, maybe all of them. I don't know how many there is, but we're going to review a little bit, and I'm just going to plug that in when we're done with the SULFUR Summary, because it's kind of interesting to see what people think of the game that may not have it. And we're going to do a little snooping. We're going to do a little Scorpio snooping on the SULFUR Sunday Summary. My goodness, I mean, it's been a crazy week, a very talkative week. I feel like I was kind of bullets out of a gun for this update, this weekly update. I'm definitely feeling more energy because I've decided to start recording a little bit earlier, just to try to make sense of my daily routine. Now that I wake up at 4:30 a.m., yeah, take that one in. That's a hard pill to swallow for me, and probably a moderately sized, decently difficult pill for you to swallow, maybe, or you don't care, but it's just because of my baby. And you know what I noticed that was weird? Before we get into the Reddit post, why does YouTube Kids have ads? I put on Mickey Mouse for him when I do my morning stuff, so he can watch a little Mickey Mouse and eat a cracker before he gets his milk. You know, just like, you got to keep your baby occupied. Why the hell does that have ads? And why is there so many of them? And why are they all catered to me? I put that on. You can't put any comments or anything. And then my kid is, I'm in, not in the other room, but I'm like a good 10, 12 feet away from him while he's eating his cracker, and I hear a goddamn commercial for a car wash. If you're going to put ads on a YouTube Kids video, why isn't it like for Blippi or Ryan's Toys or like SpongeBob? Like, put an ad that is relevant to my baby. Why is he watching an ad for goddamn car wash that is like secretly doxing me because it's within like 5-10 miles of me? It's like the Phoenix Car Wash or some shit. That's not the name at all, but it's like, dude, what is that? I don't think YouTube Kids should have ads at all. And if it does, it should be way more catered than that. Okay, let us get into it. I might be in a different place than usual. That's because when I use different websites, I like to move the camera around. Like if I'm using a tier maker, I'm down to the bottom left. None of what I'm telling you is important. What is important is this post from Zima2K where he said, first of all, it's an FPS. I think he might mean, first of all, it's an FPS. It's in the Roguelites subreddit. I tried to make sure everything was visible for you here. That's why I put the camera over here. I don't know. I'm just getting weird with it, all right? And I already feel like there isn't enough FPS roguelites. Second of all, it's an extraction shooter. He just keeps putting "and" instead of "and." I think it's an autocorrect thing that's going on here. That may sound not very promising for some, but it's a single-player game. Now, I do not like extraction shooters, but oh boy, this game is something else. The amount of weapons that you can customize via different scopes, barrels, silencers, freaking enchantments that make you gun, shoot lava, and the extraction elements I feel are very well integrated. Okay, he's just hyping it up. And he says, TLDR, I should have read this. Extraction shooter roguelite with tons of weapons, items, and great gameplay. Highly recommend. I'm only being a little bit brief because I thought we had more time. But apparently the baby is trying to take a nap. So we're going to enter the chill zone a little bit. This is the SULFUR Summary chill zone. They were supposed to try to get him to sleep in the living room. And instead, they moved it to his bedroom, which is like right next to me. So I got to be just a little bit more chill, you know? Everybody goofs up once in a while. Link to save time to other. Okay, so I did briefly look at this. There's only 49 comments, and I noticed a couple of people saying some to be honest, negative things. And I was like, we gotta have to look at this and see the praise and the negativity and see what other people outside of the Sulfur community, which is very tight-knit, have to say about it. We did the same thing similar to, I should say, with the negative Steam reviews. And I learned a lot. And there were some good points that were being made. So this is an educational thing. Can't wait to see 1.0 for this thing. Lumbermac, guys, speaking truth in volumes. I have a love-hate relationship with this game. Pretty crazy. You can lose everything in a matter of seconds. At least they nerfed the dogs. Dude, this isn't the Roguelites subreddit. It's the Roguelites subreddit. Those roguelites and roguelikes, you're supposed to lose everything on a run. Like, that's the norm. The fact that it's also an extraction shooter with an amulet that lets you friggin' magically teleport out, how amazing is that? If anything, you're treated a little bit better than most roguelites and roguelikes with the ability to just leave. Bro, I've had the highest highs and the lowest lows, feeling absolutely on top of the world, overly confident. Shame be upon my name, only to be absolutely gutted and left both incredibly defeated and angry as hell. Luckily, the game is fun, and the most important thing you need to remember is that even if you lose the greatest loadout you've ever had, you'll recover and be right back after a few runs. I personally felt like I just couldn't recover, but I always have, and currently poning. Really, dude? Is it 2008? Everything in my way. Basically, don't give up, hermano. This guy is exceptionally humble. He's right. He is exceptionally humble. Yeah, fuck those dogs. That's exactly... Oh, at least they nerfed the dogs. They gave him a small buff in the demo patch. I didn't mention that, but they did. The permadeath feels too harsh. I'm frustrated with losing it all after death rather than wanting to do another run, and they need a recipe book or something because the crafting is also tedious. Really fun to play besides those two issues. I am super confused. Because most roguelites and roguelikes I've ever played that weren't a mashup with another genre, when you die, you don't keep much of anything. I don't know. This is the last place I expected to see this complaint so frequently, and there's no way they can get rid of the system in place. It wouldn't be Sulfur. It's got to be hard. Your lives and deaths have to be impactful, just like any other roguelite and roguelike, and they are. That's why it hurts. It's something to be appreciated, I think. I've always thought that, playing that game. Always. It's awesome. But the crafting, yeah, the cooking is tedious. They're right. It is something that takes a while to learn. Yeah, but the crafting system is insufferable? Not really. I mean, the crafting system in general is fine. The crafting system in general it's like Minecraft crafting. It's been something that's worked for years. I don't agree with that. How so? I haven't pushed that far yet, but I find the system to be fine. Yeah, it's totally normal. Oh my god. No way am I reading that. Huh? This guy he had this shit written down, dude. He was waiting for someone to respond, definitely. Oh, he edited it 6 days ago, so he put it out and then edited it. Wow. Oh, I could just do that. Added to wish list. We'll check it out sometime. That'll be your most important travel, my friend. Weapons feel like airsoft guns with zero weight or depth. Kind of stinks, especially in a game that's about shooting. Huh. Well, he's probably using the Dirk. Guy didn't even try. Maybe used the Dirk and the Drifter and the Nop and was like, every gun's going to be like, there's 32 to 33 guns now. You got to use them all. Guns are either too... And you also have to level them up. That's the thing with a roguelite. You don't come in feeling... You don't pick up a one-tapping M16 and then just run through the entire game like that. You have to level up, get better, get enchantments. It's the same thing in every roguelite. This is so confusing. This is one place I expected for these people to understand, but they're lost. They're lost. The meta progression sucks. What is meta progression? Permanent upgrades outside of runs, like permanently getting a health upgrade for every run. Well, it doesn't have that. It doesn't really have meta progression. Your meta progression is your loadout. So if you suck, and you will suck when you start the game, yeah, the meta progression will suck because you're not getting to bring anything in again because the meta progression is tied to the extraction system. So you have to get better in order to get better stuff to keep bringing in. And then when you could do that, technically the meta progression is pretty good because you keep getting to bring in all this good food and guns and everything. So that's a weird... I don't think the game really has meta progression. It's not a key component to the game. That argument doesn't make much sense to me. I'm going to downvote it. No, I'm just kidding. Another Sulfur Appreciator. Yep, it's more solid than one, and the content is considerable, bearing in mind that it's still early release. I have high hopes for the full version or just the next update of this stage, to be honest. This guy gets it. Normal oil. Look at... He's oil. He's oil. I haven't clicked with a game like this in a long time, possibly years. The music in each biome level is unique, and they're all on point. I highly recommend this game. I adore this game. Everything you say. If you want to read all that, go for it. But yeah, the lo-fi beats, the music is phenomenal in Sulfur. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Love the music. We had to do a tier list because I'm obsessed with the music. It's so good. I haven't thought a game soundtrack was that good since like Minecraft. And Minecraft has an amazing soundtrack. It really does. There's more similarities with Sulfur and Minecraft than you really expect. I like the look of it, except the flashing white of the gunfire and enemies after being hit. Absolutely baffling decision there. Is it baffling? Really? I don't think it's baffling. Takes away visual clarity, if anything. We fixed this problem years ago with targeting reticle UI elements. Any chance there's a setting to turn that off? I'm quite interested otherwise, but I'm sensitive to migraines and look like trigger one in no time flat. I mean, that's a valid complaint. If he just doesn't like one of the graphical elements of the game, that's valid. Yeah, I've never had an issue with that, but I don't think it's baffling at all. It's a good game for sure. Kind of on pause for me now as I'm trying to get through my backlog, but I will return to it soon. Oh yeah, we're getting to the... Oh wow, I should have sorted by controversial. I mean, this game can actually be fun, but there's this... This is a fucking ad in plain sight. Like, come on, bro. Both posts and first comment are just super obvious. That being said, the game looks pretty interesting. I don't think it was an ad. I mean, he misspelled like 100 words. I think an ad would have a little bit better grammar. To be totally... Not shitting on him, but we didn't do a check, you know, a spell check after. And there's like a bunch of D's added onto ands and everything. So I don't think it... Yeah, not an ad. How is the combat? Game is brutal, but extremely fun. I think there's more positivity than there is negativity. It is fun once it clicks. It's not so much a roguelite IMO, though. It's an extraction shooter, kind of like Tarkov in structure, but single-player PvE. I mean, it is when you first start, but then there are the things like when you die, like any other roguelite and roguelike, you lose everything. Like, that is very much an element present in both extraction shooters and roguelites and roguelikes. And then the, you know, go back to the meta progression thing, the leveling up your guns and everything is very much like a roguelite, as in when you play, you get like a new perk, but instead that perk is an oil or a scroll. Think of it like that. I was able to craft a god tier weapon during my time in just zone 2 out of 5 that allowed me, there's 6 zones, okay, buddy? Okay. Stop forgetting Hedge Maze, pal. That allowed me to walk through the entirety of the game with relative ease. It was still fun because I was always nervous about losing it, but it became my only gun in a way. Overall, I do recommend it, but you should probably wait for 1.0. I don't think you need to wait for 1.0, but I'm all for tough games. I love Noida. This game was so hard, it just wasn't fun. You're so underpowered to start out. I just found myself dying over and over again without an appreciable amount of progress. Every time you die, you're given a bit of money. Well, sort of. It takes... percentage from your death, and that's what goes to the church fund. I stumbled upon this game the other day, and it punches way above its weight. Yes. The guns have no right feeling this good in a game with weird stylized goblins in a low poly cave. Also, the upgrades and side grades feel meaningful. So I think from the outside perspective, I think the view on Sulfur is very good. A lot of people showed up for it here. I'm a little confused on what roguelites and roguelikes some of these people are playing, because some of the complaints I just don't understand. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't get them, and I think they're just very strange. So, yeah, that was weird to me. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna slink away quietly. I'll see you guys for the next SULFUR Summary. Who knows what'll happen this week? It'll either be another long one, or it'll be something short and sweet. So, bye. See you later.